Hi, welcome back to the second part of UV unwrapping tutorial from a cat. Last time we spoken about the topology and what happens with this cat and this UV unwrapping, what it means. Today we want to make the UV correctly. In a moment we have this shit here. That is impossible to make a texture on the cat that looks great because it is not it have no seams. Because of that, it can't be unwrapped correctly. So what we spoken last time is we must cut separate parts of the whole object so that we can handle that. This model is too complicated to set the seams in one act that you can't remember in your brain. So we must make it in separate parts. How we make that? A cat has a head, a tail, legs, and a body, and some holes and other stuff, and feet. And we must cut them off with the seams and then open these separate objects uh, to make them into 2D with an unwrap. Okay, so we go in the. I can show you that one time here. What in the moment is on. I made a picture on them so you can see it good what happens in a moment. Here is wood. So you see it's chaos, absolutely chaos, and it's no wonder. It's normally because you see what happens here. That is the whole cat, and that will be printed on this 3D model. And this one has a great part, but with less details, and this part have high details. So here it looks correctly sharp, and here absolutely not. So what we must do, we go back to the cat texture that is here. We have this grid to know where is too much or too less bird. Now we must cut off this 3D object so that we can unwrap correctly. So I told it you before, we must set seams that we can make in, we make loops. We have here a loop for the neck and we click here, shading UVs, mark seam. Now this one turns to red. That is a separate part. Look what happens. That is what we have in the moment. Now we unwrap again and it must be changed. That can takes a little time. How finer this model is, more time goes by to unwrap. Yeah, it can take many times. The next steps are to cut off. Now you see it. Now we have this head and the rest of the cat because we set one seam here. And you see it's a different size of this because it is not correctly unwrapped. It is separated but not to open that part. But we first make it so that we separate all. This is a bad one because the loop does not go completely around. So we don't take that. We take this one because it goes completely round. Mark seams. So this is separated. Make it at the other same. You must look, that is not good. That is not good. That goes not completely around, so we take the next one that goes completely around. Mark seam, same here. Okay, and at the tail, same. So mark seam. Oh, make the screencast keys were better for you to see what I typed there. Okay. So we have separated um, not all that we need, but a little. Um, Now we can make an unwrap that you see what happens since we do that. Normally we see now the separate parts of the cat, but they only cut it from the whole mesh. But here you see that are the separate parts, the legs and the tail. And when you want to see what is really what, then you can mark here and click here this symbol, keep UV and editing mesh selection in synchronize. So you click that, then you will see that it will be marked. This part that we marked there is here in this part, and that is round because we not cut them in the other direction. We only cut them so, and then we push with the hand like this Coke tin, and then it's like this because we not cut them to open. Now we make that. There is a possibility to cut this whole shit, but that we don't want. So you can set a seam from one point to another point. You mark the first point, hold the control key on the keyboard, and go to the other side of the loop that it should be, and press again. So you can loop from to apart. That is good when you don't want to loop completely. So we can make it here too. So, and oh, that is a little bit too much. Yeah, you know what I mean. I make it now faster. I'm not a guy for slow unwrapping or something else. Right, middle mouse button put. You can deselect what you selected. So now we look what happens here, and we see it's nearly perfect. We get that out with shift and right mouse button. It's not in the selection. Here it's perfectly, so we hit mark seam. Now we have cut the tail and we opened the tail, so we have two parts of a tail. Now we look what happens when we unwrap now. So mark all with A and then unwrap. Hit U, unwrap. Takes time, I told you before. But we can wait. All good stuff takes time. And remember, what we want to do is to make all our grid the same size. So what we see now, we see here are the two parts of the cat tail. We can mark that with face selection and L. Then you see we have this part, or we have this part. Okay, it's logical that they're not at the same place. So we have cut here and the graphic goes not straight exactly over to the other side. That is what I said in the video before. You must later make with a clone pin, with a clone brush, clear that, yeah. But that is the way it'll all do that, yeah. It's like this. Okay, so what we must do next? Next part, the legs, and cut them off. go to the end of the leg. I'm don't finished this cat at the moment, so there is no feet. But when it is so, you must mark the bottom of the feet, and then logical this the back part. You can only open it at the back part, but then you have one object, and it's not so easy to see where is what. So better you make it half-half, then you really see what you paint on or give them textures. Now you see it's many more marked like the other time. So we can hit C and hit push the middle mouse wheel, and so we can push and hold, and so we can clear the rest marked stuff, and then we go near shift right mouse button, we can deselect what we don't need. So we have marked these two things, so we mark them, mark seam. This one is ready, and now the other ones the same process. Go down there, mark seam, down there, mark seam. Yeah, it's a wired cat. I must work on that, but it's not important to show you how we unwrap. So we make here same, double, clear the rest, and look where is too much and where not. That is good. Oh no, here is such that we don't need. We must make it here. Okay. So we have it. Mark C. Okay, these two legs are gone, so we make it here. Now we turn it off. This part and the inner part. Okay, deselect the rest that we don't need. C, middle mouse we are pressing and hold. So look what happens. Deselect that and this too. Mark C. Okay. Want to go this and the back of this that we don't need, and the rest we don't need to. I'll make this one on, go back, and we see that is correctly, and that too. Okay, mark C. Okay, now we have the legs and the tail, and when we unwrap now, we will see it will be better, and you will see that the grid is better, it's even then. So we try that. Unwrap, you unwrap, and it takes time, you know that. And then we see. I have a fast computer, but so you see that are the separate parts of the cat, and with I told before, with face selection and L, you can select and then you see what part it is. And so you can scale them, make them down, but then the size of the grid puts on the cat, yeah. So that is, you see, the the grid is even to the tail, but not even to the rest, because the rest is not correctly unwrapped. You see that this part is not correctly unwrapped, and this part too. What is it for part? This is the body that is not unwrapped, so it looks wired. So we must do that to unwrap. You see it also in the grid. Here the grid is very uh, less detailed, and here are many details because it's not correctly unwrapped. That is the point. Here L, that is the head. It's incorrectly unwrapped. Because of that, we have a bad grid and a bad unwrap. So what we're gonna do? We cut off the body in the middle. We take this one and it goes down there, but there are errors. Shit. So we take that too. What I make there? Oh, it's equal. We must make it like it is. So on the rest we deselect like before. Okay. And the tail we don't need. So we look what we have. That is the left, so we need that too. Here's correctly, 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 and it ends perfectly at the last seam. So at the top, it fits, wonderful. And at the back, there is one too less, so we must select them too, mark seam. Now the body is correct. You only see that when you unwrap new. Okay, we spoken. Oh, we have here on hole, so we'll make some shit there. But it's not important in the moment. Yeah, I don't want to fit it now. I'm too good for this word. Oh, so okay. Now we want cut off the head. We see here is something evil, so we unmark that. We select them at first, and then we say clear scene, so you removed, and then we make a cut, I think in the middle of the head, so, but thing on it, it must not be all. Now here we make the T cut that I spoken at the start from the first tutorial. We go at the end of the ear and over to the other side at the same point with holding control, and this will be marked. We delete that. So we have one in straight mark seam, and from here to there with control hold it, mark seam. Okay, some you must do manually. I think so. We try it again. So yeah, mark seam. Now the head will be open here and there. That's good. Normally we must cut through this to the mouse. Mouse is here to there with hold control and mark seam. The same is now with the ears, because the ears have another material like the rest of the cat. So we can mark them, and when they marked, then you can make them with a other texture or something else. You know what I mean. So this way we must clear. Then we take that and mark seam. The same at the other ear. and only take things that completely loop. When not, you have a problem. So, mark C. That is when you have a good topology, then you can loop around all. That is what a good topology means. So we make it with the eyes too. The eyes separated. Oh, they have a end, so we mark that end, and that will make it better. The mouth also we can mark seam. Okay, normally the nose holes we must mark too, but I have enough for this. So um, now we will see these two parts, the head and the body, will change. So would you unwrap, and that should be all. So now we have even parts at the whole cat. That means no texture will be stretched or something. All is the same, and that is fine. So that is how to UV unwrap. Now you can put each texture on the cat, and it will all times look good. Um, Important is how we make such test thing here. Okay, I show you that. This is, don't forget, the UV image editor. When you go in there, you can say new. That means you make a graphic that you can put on the cat. So make new. Then you must say the name that in our we call it grid, and then you give the resolution. When you have this resolution, the texture will not look very fine. So we make a good resolution of 4K. So it's this multiply with 4, and the same. Okay, that is a high resolution, very high, a 4K resolution. So when the graphic here is good, it's on the cat, even good like this, yeah, you know? Okay, and then you can say here what is the color of this picture we built. Should it be have alpha or 32-bit float? And here is the point. You can say it's blank, then is nothing in there. You can say it should be UV grid. That is this picture. Or you can say color grid, and that, and then we go okay. That is a color grid. And when we take UV grid, then we have that we point on the cat. So it's not very complicated. But when you see here, we have make a picture to put it on the cat, but it's not saved. And that is the problem, many forget that. When image here is a little star, that means it is not saved. So what we make, we save it. Save as image, and then we put it into the folder, cat texture, and name it grid 2. Okay, is a PNG, so save it. Takes time, it's great. It's a 4K, don't forget it. So, and now in the node system, you can say image should be used grid 2. Here's grid 2. Make open image. And you see it's put it on the cat. That's all. More you don't need for unwrapping correctly. And in next part we spoke about mapping. That means you can position the texture, you can scale the texture with this mapping, and yeah, that is the next part. So I wish you much luck to try that, and see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.